Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? All right, I'm back. Oh, gee, sorry about that. I don't know if the sound was okay for that live jam. I just got here late and I had to set up and I was trying to get everything figured out, so I just kind of winged it. Sorry about the winging it part, but it is what it is, I guess. Let me put my trusty guitar away here. All right. Okay. Okay, so I could shut this. All right. Hopefully everybody can hear and see and all that good stuff, right? Welcome to all you good folks. It's another Monday night ramble. It's episode, I believe it's episode, let me check here, 35. Wow. We're rolling on, folks. We're rolling on. Been a pretty good run, I guess. 35 shows this year, as far as the Monday night shows. So keeping a good schedule with that. I missed a few, but not very many. And yeah, it's been I guess a good run. It's hard to do every Monday. Trust me. I when I started this, I was like, wow, this is going to be great, and I'm going to be able to do this and that. And man, time flies so fast. It's like every Monday you do a show and then you're done and you're like, okay, I'm done with that. And then you move on and try to plan something else and some other videos you want to work on. And before you know it, it's Monday night again and you're back and you're doing your whole spiel and sometimes it's just, it goes by way too fast. But I hope you guys are enjoying the shows. I'm trying to come up with some new stuff soon, and I'm actually planning something new for the new year. I'm still working out some details on that and getting some configurations done on setups and things of that nature. So I don't have anything specific to tell you yet, but keep in mind that there will be some not real big changes, but some changes nonetheless for the new year, which is coming up real fast. I can't believe that we are almost November, really. Wow. Today was a beautiful day here in Ontario because it was, I think it was like a summer day. It was like 16 or 17 out. I was I got to go out on the motorcycle for a few hours this afternoon after work, which was awesome. I really love that new motorcycle. The BMW GS is really amazing. I'm glad that I took the dive into that world, and having some of the, I guess, hesitations, being a cruiser guy into the Harleys and everything, jumping onto a bike like that, which is completely different. It's a different world. You kind of have some second thoughts and things, but man, I don't have any second thoughts whatsoever after owning it for about 2 weeks now, I would say. We were out on the weekend again, and it was quite cold this weekend, but we still got out there. We put our heated clothes on and everything, and I think I did about 400 kilometers on Saturday, and yesterday it rained, so we didn't go out. But this afternoon we went out, and I went out. My wife was working. She's kind of jealous, but I probably put about 200 and some kilometers on today. But man, what a great bike. I really love it. So I'm happy I'm enjoying that. And, sometimes breaking up the same old, and I've been doing the motorcycle thing, the same type of motorcycles for like pretty much 30 years, owning Harleys and cruisers and doing the same thing. Having broken up that cycle and going to something completely different has kind of brought some more excitement and more, when you try something different, sometimes it awakes something else in you and you're really excited about doing it and you're doing it more and getting more involved. And, so it's really cool. Let's have a quick look and say hi to some folks that are jumping in while the chat's really moving. Paul Lou was the first guy in. Hi, Paul. How are you? Guitar Hack. How are you, sir? CN8E800. That's my buddy John from the East Coast. How are you, John? Hope you're doing well. Lars Guitars. How are you? Upside Down's in here. Oh, geez, Guitar Hack's already starting with the great game yesterday. Diggs. Yeah, I guess I deserve it because I was getting on you a little bit on your. I think you were on a live stream or something. I was because I gave you a little bit of grief because I was watching the game at the same time you were watching the game, and the Bills were coming back, and I was giving you the gears a little bit, but yeah, the Bills lost yesterday. The Eagles beat them, and I guess the Eagles is Guitar Hack's team, so I guess I'll have to take that one. But it's okay. We still have a good record. I think we're 5-2 now, so let's hope it was only a little misstep there. What else? We've got Phil Mosley. How are you, Phil? Nice to see you in here. Ben Coombs. Howdy, howdy. Hope you're getting ready to do your move. I think you're starting this week, so hope everything goes well for you there at the new place. Looking forward to seeing some streaming and some content from the new digs. Daniel Horsley's in here. Who else we've got? Good Eve. Yes. Yeah, something doesn't match. Does that shirt say Fender? Yeah. See, I don't hate Fender. I love all the brands. So I don't have any problems wearing my See, I said Gibson because that's in my head. That's what I am. But a Fender shirt or PRS or whatever. But yeah. I guess I'm just partial to Gibson Les Pauls, and that's kind of my thing. But I don't have anything against any other instruments. I'm just and I support other brands, just not as much as I do Gibson. That's all. Let's see. More blues, yeah. See, and I was just struggling trying to find a track to play tonight because, like I said, I was late getting here and getting everything set up, having dinner and everything. Sometimes I have a few hours before the show, and I kind of go through a library of backing tracks and figure out what I want to play and have an hour or so to warm up or something. But this was like, okay, get in here, turn everything on, get the lighting right, get the cameras and the angles all done up. Everything is pretty much set before I start, but you still got to tweak things a little bit. And then find a track that you want to play, get your levels, and all. It's a lot of work that goes into this stuff, folks. You really got to understand, especially when you want to do it to a degree that you want everybody to have a good experience. It's a lot of pressure, but it's all good. I got myself into it. I guess I'm to blame. Brad Miller, hey, you're not driving? Oh, you're breaking the routine. I watched your live stream yesterday when you installed that the brass block, I guess you would call it, for your Fender trim. Good stuff. Good stuff. I don't think I would be attempting anything building on a guitar live. It wouldn't be good because I can do the basics, but when it comes to doing what you did, I take it to my guy and say, here, I need this done. Which is kind of, I should do my own, but, when you're working on you don't want to take an R9 or an R6 and start taking it apart and doing stuff to it. So I just feel better. I can do the basic stuff, adjust a truss rod, oil the neck, get everything set up with the strings, intonation, action, all that stuff. But when it comes to actually, putting a new bridge in or a nut or filing a nut or filing frets or all that stuff, I don't get into that. Not going to do it. Zach Thong's in here. Scott Connor's in here. How are you, folks? And Brad Egan. How are you, Brad? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well in Ottawa. You don't get to drop in too often, but hey, it's okay. We'll give you the welcome anytime you're able to jump in, buddy. I don't know if you're still riding your motorcycle, but the season's coming to an end soon. I think probably another few weeks we'll have to put the bikes away. Tomorrow's supposed to be a really nice day, and I might try to leave work a little early again tomorrow and get a few hours in on the bike just to get that last couple of rides in. Janice Lala, how are you? Sound was good. Cool. Well, I'm glad the sound was okay because, like I said, I just threw it all together at the last minute. And he's got a non-authentic T-shirt today. Yeah, I just pulled it out of the closet today and figured, oh, here's a Fender shirt. Let me wear this. Yeah, I know it's not an authentic Gibson, but hey, what do you want? David Ennis, how are ya? Nice to see you. Brian S, there's my dude. Guitar Dudes and Dudettes. I always love Brian's show with Dave R, the Live Wires. Are always one of my favorite shows. I really like that show. You guys are killing it, doing a great job. You put a lot of work into it, and it shows. It shows. Robert, how are you? Robert Page, my buddy Robert. Went to school with Rob. Good guy. Hope you're doing well, Rob. Bobby is what we call him. Bobby Davril. Joe Irvy, what did I miss? You missed the blues jam, so probably it's not something you're into because it's not metal. Right? You're the metal guy, so I didn't do a metal jam. So you didn't miss anything, brother, but welcome. Welcome in. If you have any questions for me, just tag me in the chat. I'll get to them. We're gonna look at a few things tonight. As the title of the show says, the must-have pedal. I have my must-have pedal. I'd like to hear what your must-have pedals are, but we'll get into that briefly. I've got a couple other news items to touch on, and yeah, should be fun. Yeah, I still feel like a brand new channel this year's. Yeah, Phil, the year is going by fast, man. When I started, I can remember we did a stream with, I believe it was just after New Year's. Like it was a couple of days after New Year's in January. Jason Wade had me, Guitar Hack, had a few other YouTubers. Stafford Music, I believe, was in there. And there was somebody else in there, but had us on, and we kind of had a little panel discussion, and one of the questions was what is your goals, or what are you planning to do this year with your channel? And I said, well, I'd like to do a few more pieces of content as far as videos, maybe do a few reviews, do some jamming videos. Like I really like to take a cover song and make it do something of my own style and play with it. So I did do a lot of that, and I said I might like to go live. And I think if you look at all my videos that are on my channel, the majority of the stuff I've done this year has been live. So I guess I really went down that road, and yeah, it flew by. I mean, like I said, I started doing live shows, I think at the end of January would have been my first Monday night ramble, when I decided I was going to go on Mondays and pick a time and just stick to that same time, that same type of format every Monday night. So I think it was either end of January or February, but man, it moves fast. Mark Taylor, how are you, Mark? Nice to see you. You guys didn't do a show this morning. I didn't see one anyway, but I'm sure you'll be back this week sometime. Okay, I think I'm hope. Oh my God, this thing just jumped like crazy here. All right, I'm just gonna kind of move down here because I don't want to go too far into this. Okay, Ben's starting to move tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I thought. Take that shirt off. Soda and milk. Yeah, you're in the house. I know, right? I'm sorry. It is what it is. Fender's a good brand. Give them a break. I like Fenders. I just can't play them. I pick up a Fender Strat and I keep hitting that volume button. So it's a no-go. But I love their Telecasters. So that's something. But I have a Sir Telecaster, which is weird because I tried Sirs. I tried Fenders when I was buying the Telecaster, and this Sir really, I gelled with it, and it came up on a trade. That I traded one of my Les Pauls that I had that I was trying to sell. And the guy said, I'll trade you. And then it was exactly what I was looking for as far as a Telecaster. So that's the way I went. But I have nothing against Fender. Fender's awesome. Let's see. Brian S. says, takes Dave and I a day or two to get Livewire show research and set up. Yeah, I can imagine. You guys really cover a lot of content, and I know what it takes to do that stuff as far as putting that together. It's a lot of work. So I appreciate it, folks. I really appreciate the work you put in, Brian, and that's why I watch it every week. Zach, there he is. All right, I think I'm at the end here. Wasn't bad. Oh, Brad's saying it. Brad Miller says it wasn't bad. Hard part was carrying on a conversation and working. Yeah, that's hard to do, Brad. But you did a great job, so good on you. I know I couldn't do that. Okay, I think I'm at the bottom. Man, you guys, this friggin' chat's moving. Paul Lou says, my last video was with a Fender Strat and really bombed. Like 35 views if I'm lucky. Going back to authentic for next video. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that has anything to do with because you were playing a Fender, or if you play a Gibson, you get more views. Maybe I should track those analytics and try that someday and see if it does make a difference. Must-have pedals. Yeah, it's coming up, folks. We're going to talk about that. And let's see. Brian S. says, must-have pedal equal Helix LT. Yeah, in a way, you're probably right, but I have something a little bit more specific in mind to discuss when it comes to the pedal. Marsman, how's it going, Marsman? Good stuff, folks. All right, so I've got myself down to the bottom of the chat, I think. I'm hoping I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I am sorry. I will get to you later. All right. So other news, I did get my NAM pass, so that's a good thing. I got it early last week, and apparently there was a mix-up. So if any of you guys have submitted a registration through NAM, whenever, and you're still waiting on a response and you haven't seen anything in a few weeks, give them a call, because when I had submitted my application, just as I did when I went to Nashville this summer, I did it through my work doing, the multimedia thing, and I got it within the day or whatever. And this time I submitted my application like probably a month ago, and then I paid the registration and they charged a credit card and everything because I saw the charge, but I still hadn't received the pass. So I called them directly, and they looked it up and said, yeah, you were approved. You're in our system and you're good to go, because, we have you as a buyer or whatever it is they have me under in their system, because I was at Summer NAM. And they said they'd had some issues when they were sending out emails. It was going to some junk mail or something like that nature when your email, so you have to filter out. So I had a look, and yeah, true enough, there it was. So they resent it to me, and so I've got my confirmation. I'm good to go. So the flight's booked, the hotel's booked, and I've got the NAM pass, and that's happening. I'm leaving on June 15th on that one. So that should be fun. That'll be my first time ever in California. So that'll be kind of exciting. It'll be my first time ever at Winter NAM. I did do the Summer NAM, but Winter NAM is a whole different beast. So that'll be interesting. I am getting out to the Supercross race on Saturday night of that weekend. There's a Supercross race in Anaheim. I'm a huge motocross, Supercross fan as far as watching that sport and having partaken in that sport as a kid. I really follow it all the time. And Anaheim is a huge race, and that's where it's were the birthplace, I guess, of Supercross. So I'm looking forward to that. That's happening on Saturday night. So that should be fun. And so NAM is is all good, except for it happens in January. So you know what that means. You're dealing with delays in weather or weather-related delays and so forth. My flight leaves Toronto and goes directly to LAX. So it's a 5-hour flight. Barring any issues as far as weather, I should be okay. But if there's delays and stuff, then you have to deal with that fun. I know a few of you here and some of my friends that went to Winter NAM last year had the ice winter stuff happening, and there was delays. There was shut down the airport for like 6 hours. Like, it was crazy. So I am keeping my fingers crossed that doesn't happen this year, because that sucks ass. I'm not a big. I don't like airports and planes and travel that much anymore. I've done enough of it that, people think it's, oh, you're so lucky with your job and you get to do this and do that and you get to travel. You know what? It's not all glamorous, and it's a pain in the arse going through the airport, especially if you've got cameras and gear and things. So that's why I'm trying to scale down my gear stuff this year going to the events. And I'll show you how I put together my little rig, and I'll show you that in a second too. So hopefully that cuts down the size and makes travel a little easier. But Mark Taylor says there was no show this morning, but we may be live tomorrow morning. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Let's see. Yeah, Ben, I'm sure we're going to run into each other at NAMM. We'll probably see you and everybody else that's going as far as the community. Should be fun. Leo Fender didn't even play guitar, and like Les Paul was a god. Fender is the Ford of guitars. Make them fast and cheap. Yeah, they still make good guitars. I mean, I don't have any problems with them. Brad Egan's saying Fender isn't cool. It's like saying Iron Maiden isn't cool. Yeah. No, Fender's good. Fender is a good brand. Flying was a bitch last year. Yeah, I saw some of the stories and followed some of your travels, man. That is not a fun trip. That's for sure. Iron Maiden has no reason to. Come on, Brian S. What are you talking about? Iron Maiden's awesome. Give him hell, Brad. Can't say that about Iron Maiden. Crew. Yeah, I love Crew. Crew is really, I think, as far as I remember, Crew was my first concert, and it was in Rimouski, Quebec. This was a small city in Quebec, in the province of Quebec, for all you folks out there that are not from Canada. And I think it was in 85 or 86. It was a Shout of the Devil tour. I remember it because I think I still have the poster somewhere. I should try to find that poster. It was hilarious because it was supposed to be Saxon opening up for Motley Crue. Well, Saxon, I guess, didn't make the gig, or they had to cancel or whatever, so we ended up getting a band called Exciter, a three-piece band. I guess they're from Montreal or something. More of a thrash type of band, and Lee Aaron, and then Motley Crue. So that was a cool concert. Oh, Christ, Rimouski. Yeah, that's where I think that, and I believe that was my first concert as a kid, because, yeah, I would have been about 15 years old, and we had gone up on a bus. We paid $25 each person, and we got on this kind of Greyhound bus, and some guy older than us was organizing the whole thing, and we just, a bunch of teenagers, just get on this bus, and the driver was like super cool, and he just stopped and got us beer and everything. We're drinking, all the people got drunk. It was insane, and we're just kids. Try doing that today, in this day and age. It's never gonna happen. I mean, there would have been red flags going up everywhere for that. But yeah, that was quite the experience. And I did a few other concerts after that on the same type of deal where you paid $25, you got your concert ticket and your bus ride there and back. I did Iron Maiden that way. I did Metallica that way. Might have been. I did a few Iron Maidens, Power Slave, and I did that other one there, Wasted Years, whatever that's called, that album. I can't remember right now. And then Metallica was the Master of Puppets. I saw them in Rimouski as well, doing Master of Puppets tour, and I saw them doing Injustice for All in Quebec City. Yeah, Brad, you remember Rimouski? You were there, the Crew concert. It was awesome. It was so cool, and we were right in the front. It was just insane. And these guys were just starting out at this point. They were just at the beginning of their Shout of the Devil, tour, and it was really cool. Ben Coombe used to do bus rides to Toronto shows too. Yeah, that was the way we did it, because I lived in a small little town, and our Quebec City was about 4 hours from the little town, and there was never really concerts happening anywhere other than maybe Quebec, or Rimouski was kind of a weird one. They would have concerts once in a while, and I was surprised that they had, like, Motley Crue and Metallica. But back in those days, that was the options we had, and as kids, I wasn't even driving back then when I saw Crew. I was 15 years old. So the fact that my mom or my parents let me even do that was pretty cool. So that was the way we did things, and then we went from there. All right, so let me show you the rig. I showed this unboxing last time, but here it is put together, kind of a little GoPro rig. And what you have here is the audio box thing where your mic plugs into, and that plugs into the GoPro. So you get good audio on my little receivers up here. And then I can take, Where's my, oh, here's this. And I can wear this. This is my other part of the mic, and I can wear this on myself, or I can put it on a little stand or whatever, and I can use it as a microphone to go back and forth to somebody. So this way we'll get good audio. And with the GoPro is pretty good. I mean, the video of it is, on the GoPros are not bad, but what I like about it is super small, convenient. The only thing I might add to the rig, if I see that I'm needed, would be another little, like I'd probably have something mounted on the bottom of here, which it would be like an external battery. So it would, because the batteries in the GoPros aren't the best. I mean, if you're shooting 4K video on a GoPro, you're probably going to get about maybe half an hour on a battery. So it's not the best. I've got like 4 batteries, but it's just a pain in the ass. Now I'm going to have to take this out of the rig to put a battery in and so forth. But they sell these batteries on Amazon and other things where they're just basically like the stuff that you can buy, like a portable USB battery and that type of thing. So I'll try to rig that on this unit, and then that should give me like 3 or 4 hours of run time before I have to charge it or do a change. So that'll be a lot easier to run around with and not have to worry about changing batteries. So that's that. But what I did get in the mail today, I did order these to go along with the kit. And what you're probably wondering, what the hell is that? These are ND filters, and what these are good for, especially if you're going to be in California and you're going to do some filming outside, you put one of these little filters on just in front of your lens, and that'll give you way better quality, because when there's too much light, the GoPro just adjusts to the lighting conditions. And at that point, it opens up the aperture like crazy, and it just looks like... It looks okay, but it looks generic. With this, at least you can make it so your background's a little blurred and then your foreground's sharp. It makes it more cinematic looking. So this is what these are good for. And this kit was on Amazon. These are the good brand. If you're looking for anything like that, any type of filter for a GoPro or for a small camera, action camera, whatever, or for a drone even, look for the company called Freewell. They make like when it comes to filters, yeah, you can buy real cheap ones. Like this was about $60 for 4. You can buy 4 of them for $25. But I'll tell you right now, when it comes to filters and ND filters, something you're putting in front of your lens, it does make a difference with the quality that you put on there. Because if you buy one of those packs that is like a $24 pack and you put that in front of your lens, what happens is the distortion and defragmentation of the actual image is affected greatly by the quality of these filters. So if you're putting something cheap in front of your lens, it's going to cut the light and it's going to give you a desired effect that you're looking for, but the video will suffer because the corners will be like, it'll be a lot of vignetting, and sometimes you even get color casts from the filters themselves, so it'll look like a bluish dark color on one side and green on the other. So it's really... the quality really takes a hit when you do that. So I would recommend that if you are looking at putting ND filters in front of your lenses on cameras, make sure that you get, you don't have to get the best. I mean, you could buy like a pack that is over $100 and they're like Zeiss quality. You don't need that. But this company, Freewell, I've used them before, and they make quality stuff, and your image doesn't get affected by any of these things that I was talking about. So look for Freewell. They're kind of a mid to high end product as far as filters go, and you should be fine. So yeah, this one comes with 4 filters, and they usually number them like ND4, ND8, ND16, and ND32, and all that means is the amount of light each one will cut. So if it's a really, really sunny day, you're probably going to use an ND16 on there, and if it's like cloudy day and you still want to get that cinematic effect, you would probably put an ND8 or something of that nature. Indoors, you probably wouldn't use it unless it was crazy lighting, and you might use the lowest filter on here, which is an ND4 inside like the convention center to get, if you're trying to go for a cinematic look. But typically you don't need a filter indoors, but sometimes some people use it for effect. So yeah, there it is. The GoPro, and this is the GoPro 7 Black, I believe. I've got the other ones, the 5. I've got a 5 and a 4. I don't use them anymore, but I don't know. I could probably find something to do with them. I'm thinking of doing some motorcycle vlogs next summer. So I might hook up those other cameras to the motorcycle and have different angles and stuff of that nature. But that's something to look for down the road. That's all I need, another project to work on. I don't have enough going on as it is, right? Let's see. Let's see if I missed anything here. John, my buddy, says he saw a crew open for Aerosmith in Edmonton about 12 years ago. Wow. Yeah, that'd be a good concert. Just broke off from opening for Ozzy. Yeah, Brad, I believe they were, eh? They were opening for Ozzy, and then they broke off from that tour to do their own headlining thing. This was one of their first shows headlining. The Rimouski one was one of their first. Yep. Yeah, you're right. I think I still have that poster. I hope I got it somewhere. I'll show you guys. Yeah, Dale, that's Dale Palmer. How are you? If I didn't say hi, I just saw you in here. Yeah, the setup is nice and compact, and that's what you want. I can throw this in a little backpack, have that on with me, and then if I see something interesting at NAMM or my camera shows or wherever I'm going out, even bringing this out anywhere to a live gig or something, and I want to do an interview or capture some footage, and just put that in a little bag and take it out. And then you've got the tripod. You can set it up and do an interview, or you can hold it and show a product, and it's pretty stable when it's on the tripod. So the good thing with the GoPro 7, it's got really good image stabilization built in. So you don't necessarily need a gimbal. You could get one and make it even more. But sometimes when you get a gimbal and you have a GoPro that has really good stabilization, they fight each other. So you have the software stabilization and you've got a hardware stabilization on the gimbal, and both things are trying to work together or fight each other, and it becomes more problematic than anything. All right, so let's get to the topic of the night, which is the pedal. So as most of you know, I use a Helix, so I don't use pedals or amps anymore. I just use my Helix and I go directly into the interface, the audio interface. And the Helix has every pedal that you could want, in my opinion. But there's one pedal that analog-wise, that for me, in my personal opinion, again, this is my personal opinion, it might not be yours. The one pedal, and I use it in software as well. So when I set up a patch on my Helix, it is always there. It's always part of the patch, no matter what sound I'm going for. It's always at the end of the patch. And what it does, it basically just brings everything out. It makes everything sound better. It takes everything, puts it forward in the mix. And I think most of you probably have a good idea of what that is, because I've spoken about it before. And I've sold all my pedals as far as my analog pedals. The one I've never sold, and I probably will never, because I just think it's a must-have, because I can use this with my Helix as well if I wanted to use an analog pedal. Or if I went to jam somewhere and they had an amp, I would always have this in my bag, and I would use it, right? So this is the EP Booster. So I don't know, it's kind of weird with the light, but you guys have seen this. And I don't know too much about other brands. There's other companies that make a booster pedal or something similar to EP, to Exotic, I guess, is a company that makes this. But this pedal, for some reason, this is my must-have, whether I'm using it as an analog piece, or in my Helix they have let me tell you what they call it on Helix. I have it right here. They call it the Kinky Boost, which is basically a simulation of this pedal. So I use it all the time in my Helix. And I've compared both. I've taken this pedal and I've plugged it at the end of my chain, like through my Helix. So my Helix is running its old patch, and then it runs into this thing. And I've also run the software version, the Kinky Boost, and I've A/B'd them. And there was virtually no difference between what this does and what the Helix version will do. Virtually nothing different, like set the same way, same level or whatever. I couldn't get any difference. So, but I just couldn't sell this one. When I was selling off all my pedals, When it came to this one, I didn't sell it. I just, I think it's a great pedal, and someday if I need to use it, if I go out and jam or whatever, and there's an amp there, like I said, I will have this pedal with me. So that's my must-have. What do you guys think? Do you guys have a must-have pedal in your arsenal? I know some of you guys are big pedal guys, so post in the chat. EP boost, yeah. Yes, it has the EP boost. There you go. Upside down. I think he literally has everything. Every single. He's always giving me grief, that upside down. He called me six-figure Brian or something the other day. I laughed. Because every time he tunes in, I got some new gadget or something different that I'm showing. I don't have everything. I just have little things and pieces of it. I don't have many guitars even. Like, look, that's all I have in all my guitar collection. There's one, two, and there's two guitars there, and there's two here. So that's 4 guitars total, 2 Les Pauls, Friedman Strat, and a Sir Telly, and I have my Ernie Ball bass. That's it. So it's not that much. I mean, I see guys on here that have got like 10, 20, 50 guitars. So, you know, I think I'm okay. I'm kind of conservative that way. So let me see. Yeah, on the Helix, it's called the Kinky Boost, which is basically the clone of the EP Boost, in my opinion. That's what it is. Phil says I need to get... Yeah, Phil, you just try it, dude. I'm telling you, I was skeptical as well when I was getting pedals and doing the amp thing and trying to find what I was going to use in studio and stuff. And I saw a lot of reviews and people saying, this is a really great pedal. This is great. Try it. So I went to the store and I tried it. And you know, at the store, you really can't, unless they've got a really good setup that you can run your kind of what you have at home there and you can really tell. But I always find that I take the pedal home and I use it with my environment that I'm in here. And that's when I can really tell what a pedal can do or what an amp can do or a guitar or whatever. It's in my setting that I really get a good feel for it. And that's what I did with the EP Booster. I just went in and I said, I'd like to try this. And so my guitar or music store that I shop a lot at, I have a good relationship with them, so they let me, bring stuff back if I don't like it. They give me 30 days. So I took this home and I was like, wow, it was instant almost as soon as I put it into the chain, and I put it at the end of the chain. I would say, well, if you're running anything in the loop, that's different. Like if I was running an amp, I would run my delay reverb in the loop. But all my front of the amp stuff, the EP Booster would be the last thing at the front of the chain. So basically I'd have, you could have a compressor, an overdrive, an EQ, whatever, and then you'd have an EP Booster, that type of setup. So definitely, Phil, if you do get a chance, check that pedal out. I believe it makes a huge difference. Okay. So Ben says he uses an LPD. What is that? Cola Boost? The same. Yeah, so I'm sure LPD and I'm sure Wampler and some other people make a similar pedal to this, to the EP Booster. I just never tried those ones. So essentially they're probably doing the same type of thing, which is, it really, I think it takes all the frequencies and makes them, I can't even explain it, because it really does something to your sound that wakes it up almost. It takes the blanket off of something almost. It just feels that way. So, but I'm sure that other companies are making these types of pedals and they sound equally as good. I don't have the experience with them. I've never tried them. So if you have a preferred brand or something that you have a lot of, like an LPD, you've got a few LPDs already, by all means, go try an EP or a booster pedal from them and try. And if you can, A/B it with an EP Booster. Just get it, and like if you have a deal at the music store like I do, that you can have it for 2 weeks to 30 days to try out, and take it home and A/B it with some other products. It'd probably be a good video to do. I just don't do analog pedals anymore, so it's not something that I would do. But Ben or somebody else, Guitar Hack or anybody that is still dealing with analog pedals, that'd be probably a good video to do, is take a few different companies' boosters, that are similar to EP Boosters, and try them one by one and say, okay, this is what an EP booster sounds like. This is what an LPD boost sounds like, and see really what the differences are. Because I don't know. I'd be interested to know as well. Brian says, I wish I had kept my MXR carbon copy delay for the Helix loop. Yeah, that's a good. I had that one and I did sell it because I didn't find anything in the Helix that I couldn't do delay wise that the MXR carbon copy would do. But if you had a perfect setting with it and you really liked it, and obviously, then I would add it to the Helix and just use it, and it would free up a block on your Helix patch as well. So it's a good idea to do. But yeah, I find the delays and the reverbs in the Helix. There's like a variety of stuff. There's more than enough for me that I always find exactly what I'm looking for. And believe it or not, I often go to the same ones. Right now, I probably would say my delay is a multi-head from the Legacy collection. It's called just called multi-head for the delay. And my reverb is in the Legacy library as well, and it's a plate, just a regular plate reverb. And I have my settings, and I kind of just copy those two to different patches that I build because those are the reverb and delay that I like. So I don't, sometimes I'll try variation, I'll try something new or whatever, but for the most part, I stick with those. And I find they're great. They're great stuff. So let's see. Soda Milk, get another Les Paul. Yeah, I do want another Les Paul, actually. My next Les Paul is going to be a custom, a black custom with white binding. It might be a custom shop, unless I can find, some vintage things are just way expensive. Like if you look at, I'd like to get a 69 custom shop, but, I'm never going to be able to afford that. Obviously, they're 25 grand and up, I think. But, if you find a good custom shop, maybe a 2018, 17, 16, somewhere in that area, if you find a used one, somebody's trying to sell it, it's still going to be crazy expensive. Don't get me wrong, but compared to going and buying a 69 or a 70s custom, it's still workable. And what I do like about the custom shop stuff, when I did try it, we're talking about custom shop, Gibson, custom. So I know it's confusing, but when I tried them, I liked the weight of that compared to the original, like the 69 or a 70, where those things were like 10 pounds plus. The custom shop stuff is all, they get wood and the best piece of wood and stuff. And everything that I've played on a custom shop level, my R6 and my R9 are all between 8.5 to 8.9 pounds. And I really like that weight for a Les Paul for me is perfect. So if I could find a black custom with white binding that was in my price range at that weight, that would be the one to get. And I think at this point I probably have to get rid of the Friedman Strat in order to do that, because I'd have to sell something unless I came into some crazy Upside Down might send me a check or something. Then I could go and buy another guitar with no problem. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm just going through. Paul Lou says, do you use the EP boost as an always-on pedal? I use it for an always-on pedal, Paul Lou. That's part of the sound for me. It's not an on for like a solo or something like that. It's always on. I set it to a certain way, and it basically makes my frequencies exactly where I need it to be throughout the patch, and I just leave it always on. And that's how I did it when I had the analog set up as well. When I was running a tube amp or something, I would just leave it at the end of my chain and it would be on. So I would set everything else to the way I like it, and I knew what to do with the EP booster, and then as soon as I hit that EP booster, it would just make everything kind of put it all together. Let's see. There we go. Brian S. says, do you find that sometimes less is more with your Helix drive amp? Yes, I do actually. A lot of the time, like that sound that I was playing with when I first started the show, the jam session, was, believe it or not, it was just using like I wasn't even using a distortion pedal. It was using the EP booster at the end of the chain, but all the distortion from the guitar was all coming from from the amp. So I put the drive on the amp a little bit higher, but I'm not using any distortion or anything like that. I do have a distortion pedal in my patch, and when I kick that in, then obviously it gives me a heavier sound if I'm playing like metal or something like that. But yeah, no, I find that with the Helix, if you really are looking for more of a rock and roll type of sound, then don't max out gain and drive and everything else. Just, use that just a little. What I do is I play and I bring the slider up as much, just a little bit at a time, and I see where that sweet spot is, and then I back it down probably just a notch, and that's where I like it. And if I need a heavier tone for like if I'm playing a Metallica song or something, I won't touch what my amp settings are for my rock sound, but I will add a distortion pedal in front of it, and that'll kind of give me that, that extra edge or whatever for, Metallica or whatever. Let's see. Oh, Dr. Guitar's in the house. How are you? Glad you stopped in. Four Walls Music. What's the must-have pedal is an EP booster for me. I don't know what the rest of the audience is their go-to pedals. If you want to populate the chat with what you guys think is a go-to pedal for you guys that you must have or that you will always have, put it in there. For me, it's the EP booster as an analog pedal, but even when using the Helix, every patch I do has the EP booster simulated, I guess, whatever it's called, a Kinky Boost in the Helix. Happy Halloween. Yeah, Halloween on, is it Thursday, I think? Yeah. If somebody's doing a show on Thursday, I hope you're dressing up. And Guitar Hack, that goes for you too, because you skimped out on us on your 1,000 sub show where you're supposed to be Ace Frehley, but we didn't get that. We got gypped, folks. I'm gonna keep harping on that until I see you in Ace makeup, buddy. Let's see. Guitar Hack says, sold my amp. Wow, sold your amp. I didn't know. On the Marshall DSL. Okay. I didn't know you were selling it. Are you getting another amp, or I know you've got a few already, so that's cool. Yeah, that went pretty good. Let's see. Six String Brian says, Brian S says, Eric Broadbent puts LA Studio Comp at the end of everything. Have you tried that? I do have a compressor at the end of the chain, but I don't use it for my drive settings. Like anything with drive or distortion or dirt or whatever, I usually don't put it on. On my clean setting, I do like having it at the end of the chain. I don't know, for some reason it just works well there. I've experimented both ways, in front, at the end, and I just found that using my clean tone and putting the compressor at the end worked better for me, especially when I'm using Les Pauls in particular. Yeah, but for my distorted sounds, I don't put it on. Brad Egan asks, Guitar Hack. No, Guitar Hack is probably not going to go Helix route. I don't think so. Not yet, anyway. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Guitar Hack's going to pick up a new amp tomorrow. Cool. Get the JCM 800. Yeah. Yeah, it's an expensive amp, right? For a 20 watt, I found it quite expensive. Guitar Hack, go get Pete Thorne's new amp. It's only $3,600 Canadian plus tax. Ace makeup or riot? Yeah, you got it upside down. Give it to him. Wednesday on Live Wires will be chicken guitars as guests, and there could be costumes. Cool, good stuff. Looking forward to it. Tutu and Ace makeup hack. Yeah, there was something about a tutu you had promised that you would do as well. So you've got a lot of stuff that you got to produce, my friend. That's what happens when you wish for 1,000 subs and you say, I'll do this and I'll do that. That's what happens. You got to live up to it. I know I said it. I said if I get 1,000 subs, I'll be appearing in Kiss makeup. Could be Ace, could be Paul, could be Gene, whatever. I don't think it'll be Peter because I don't play drums, but I went and made that saying, and it's recorded, and people have a record of it, so I can't back out. We got to wait till Thursday for the amp reveal for Guitar Hack. Okay, there's a good thing to know. Guitar Hack bought a Harley Benton amp. Funny thing about the Harley Benton amp stuff, apparently their cabinets are really, really good. Because I think there was either Phil McKnight or somebody on YouTube did a comparison and said that it was the best cab. So that's pretty cool. And apparently it's priced at, ridiculously very low. So, but I'm still not, I'm not buying into their guitars. I'm sorry, folks. I just can't get the Rev amp. The new Friedman is a great amp. Four Walls Music 3600 that's 3600 for that Pete Thorne amp. I'm telling you, it is very pricey here in Canada. I know in the States it could be like 2600, but even that, it's a 15 watt amp that has IRs. So, it's got some good technology in it, but man, if you're going to spend 3600 plus tax on an amp, I don't think it would be that one. Only if Pete comes over to demo the amp, you'd have to get something extra if you're going to pay that money for a 15 watt amp. It's just not my thing. Brian S. Hack went the opposite of pretentious. Gorilla combo. Yeah. Now, I'm not pretentious in the amp department. I am in the guitar department. I don't know, motorcycles. Yeah, I guess you could say that. But I'm pretty modest as far as my car. I have a truck. Yeah, so I guess my guitars are the pretentious part of my stuff. Not amps. I don't have any amps. Pooh Ninja, what's going on? Get a D20. What's a D20? I don't know. I'm not following you on that one. It's probably some sort of amp that I don't know anything about. So we are at 7:56. We've got about 4 minutes left. If you got a specific question, let me know. I'm just thinking if there's anything that I haven't covered that I needed to cover. Again, EP Booster was the must-have pedal. If you haven't tried it and you are a pedal person or whatever, definitely give it a shot. Put it at the end of your channel, leave it on, and just turn the knob. It's only one knob. Turn it and get to a spot where you like it, and I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. Now, again, whether you buy this version, which is by Exotic, I guess the company that makes this one, or you get, LPD or somebody else that makes a similar pedal, definitely try them, because for me, I find it makes a huge difference. And even if you're in the Helix world, Helix makes a clone of that, and I put it in all my patches, like I said. So that is the must-have pedal, and that was the topic of the night. Again, NAMM is all booked. We spoke about that. Showed you a few things with the camera setup that I will be using for that stuff. Guitar Hack says, yeah, EP Booster is at the end of my chain too. So yeah, so Guitar Hack. And I know a few other people that I've spoken to or have seen online that have similar thing. They always seem to talk about having always an EP Booster in their pedal world or board or whatever, in their setup. So, Planet of the Aints. Just jiggle the knob and you'll be all right. Exactly, Four Walls. You got that right, brother. So I want to give you guys a big thank you for jumping in again. Mondays, it just flies by. Before you know it, I'll be sitting here again next Monday. It'll be like going, where did the time go? It's absolutely insane. So next Monday I am here. The following Monday, I will be here, but I am going to Toronto for 3 days. Doing a show down there. It's called Pro Fusion in Toronto. It's a show that covers all cameras, video cameras, that type of technology world. It's kind of a smaller scale show of what I go to in Vegas, so I'll be attending that. I'll try to bring you some footage of that. If I see anything interesting and something that you guys would like to have some information on, then I'll do some recording. Give me a chance to test out the new this thing, the GoPro little rig that I've got set up here. That might give me a chance to run that through its paces. So that's happening in a few weeks. And other than that, I don't think there's anything else on the agenda coming up real soon. There might be a live stream happening on Thursday this week, Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon, depending on what I've got going on. So keep an eye out for that. And we will probably see you, I'm sure, in some other live chats. Really appreciate your support. And it means a lot to me that you guys jump in here and spend an hour with me. So it's really fun. James Severin, how are you? You're late. You have to watch the replay if you want to get everything. Phil Mosley says, I hope to see you all at my Halloween special live show. Oh, so okay, you're doing a Halloween special live tonight. Good to know. I believe Phil Mosley goes on at 9 or 10. Just tell us in the chat there, Phil, if your show is on at 9. I usually go at 9, but maybe it's at 10. I could be wrong. So definitely check out that if he's got a Halloween live special. Phil does some great content and is a great YouTuber, so definitely support him if you haven't already subscribed or checked out his channel. Phil Mosley Music, folks. Check him out. So I see Ben just went live, and we are at 8 o'clock. I want to say thank you again to everybody. Have a great week. Hopefully winter stays away a few more weeks before we see any snow in my part of the world. That's a huge thing for me. As soon as we see snow, it sucks ass. But, you know, what can you do? I live in Canada, or I live in Toronto, or a part of the world where there's winter. So just part of what it is. So let me just do this, and this, and I will bid you adieu and have a great week, folks. Take care and play some guitar and have some fun, all right? And definitely support each other. Check out each other's videos, and we'll see you soon, all right? Take care.